Welcome to Action Network. This is Green Dot Daily. I'm Chris Raybon, subbing in for Maria Marino here on Green Dot Daily. We're live weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel and the Action app. But this will be our last week of shows before a little summer vacation. We're going to get you some baseball picks. We're going to get you some three-point player props. But we're going to start with Matt Moore and some Game 5 NBA Finals insights. All right, Matt, what's going on? Welcome to the show. You've been there in person. You've been covering every game of the finals so far, doing a great job. So I got to ask you just to start it off. Does this series, the 2023 NBA Finals, does it end tonight in Denver?
Yep, we're done. We are all done with this series. The Denver Nuggets take care of business. They've been pretty locked in. The one game I think you can look at in the playoffs and say that they weren't focused was game 2, and they responded. They said, hey, we're going to play better. We just didn't give enough effort in that game. And then they came out and they won both games in Miami. The quotes from the Heat have kind of indicated as such. Gabe Vincent's talked about a very low margin for error. Erik Spoelstra has basically been like, we got to just play really hard. There are no tactical adjustments left. Like they are really kind of out of it. We're seeing Tyler Hero tonight as a desperation type move, but the Nuggets have had answers for everything. The Heat can't keep up with the Nuggets offensively, and they can't slow down the Nuggets on when they're on defense. So I've got the Nuggets minus 8.5 tonight. I'll go ahead and lay the points with Denver in this one. I'm playing some alternates as well. You can find those in the Action Network app on both sides, taking a little bit of a lower spread, a little bit more of a higher one as well, playing on the Nuggets here. Denver has been phenomenal at home. They did lose game 2 at home. The Heat have been the only team to take a game off the Nuggets at home. But again, I look at the way that game played out and then how Denver has responded. I got no reason to think that Denver is going to be shook by the moment, be too tight in this one. I think the Heat are exhausted. I think Jimmy Butler is not the same guy that he was to start these playoffs after the ankle injury. I don't think Tyler Hero is going to be able to make enough of a difference or a positive one overall. It's possible that he actually hurts them a little bit. Even if he has a good game, I don't think it's enough. Denver's got more weapons. Denver's been able to solve the problems that the Heat have presented. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Nuggets minus 8.5 here. I'll lay the points, as historically teams up 3-1 that are favorites have managed to cover the spread at about 56%.
Yeah, and it's ironic that, the Heat come out of the elevation, get back to Miami, and that's when they come down to earth. So, losing both games in Miami, I think, really hurt them. And Matt, you mentioned something as far as I think both of these teams are exhausted. And you also mentioned that the Nuggets defensively, the three-point shooting for the Heat hasn't been there since the Nuggets made that adjustment after that game 2 loss, which I think ultimately was good for Denver. So for my pick for this game, I'm going to go with the first quarter under 53.5. It's gone under at every game of the series so far, Matt. The high has been 51. And now, we don't know exactly what the rotation is going to be with Tyler Hero, but I think that's actually good because I think that there's going to be some issues with rhythm. And you are back in the altitude, too. Let's not forget that for this Miami offense. You're integrating another player back into it who's been hurt, who we don't know if he's 100%. You're going back into the altitude. And the pace of the series has been probably slower than you or I, Matt, even predicted. I mean, it's barely got above 90 for any of these games. So I got to go with the first half under, and I kind of like your Nuggets 8.5 as well.
Yeah, I think you got to like that. I think, look, the first quarter under, first half under has been great for us as well. We're going to be on that as well in this game. Unders have been pretty profitable. It's interesting because if you look at the actual offensive ratings and the pace is faster in that first half, and the offensive efficiencies have been a little bit higher. But for whatever reason, the total has not been able to get there. I think because one team or the other tends to struggle way more than they do throughout the course of the entire game. So I think we're going to see that again in this quarter. That's why this is a pretty sharp play here, is because either the Nuggets are tight, come out and they can't hit shots, and Miami's able to control that pace where they've been absolutely dragging these games into the mud, or Denver's able to get buckets. And after that happens, Miami's half-court offense is just, it's kind of miserable, to be quite honest. They haven't been able to score consistently. I don't think Hero will play enough in that first quarter to be having an impact there. Don't expect him to start in this one. So I'm with you on this first quarter under as well.
All right, let's flip it and let's talk. We talked some some sides and totals. Let's talk some props for tonight. Matt, I'll start us off on this one in terms of the props that we like. I like this Jamal Murray over 8.5 assists at plus 114. And I'm curious as to what you think. But he's had 10 or more in every game. He's averaging 18 potential assists. It seems like no matter what Miami does schematically on defense, Matt, Jamal Murray seems to keep getting his assist numbers. They're getting the ball out of his hands. And I think, we've seen throughout this playoffs, when Jokic scores a lot, Denver's not necessarily invincible, but when Murray does, that's when it's really tough. So I think Murray gets his assists. I don't know. The points are kind of in the mid-20s. That could go either way, but I do like him to get to double-digit assists again. So I'll take the plus juice at 8.5. What do you think, Matt?
Love this, especially getting this just a number only a slightly higher than his normal line here. Look, you're absolutely dead on with this. They started blitzing Murray at the end of game 3, which is understandable because, he dropped a 30-point triple-double alongside his teammate Nikola Jokic. So they've transitioned in this Heat series. The Heat have gone from, okay, let's try and make Joker to a scorer. And then in games 3 and 4, really late 3 and the entirety of 4, they went to, let's make Joker a scorer and let's make sure Jamal Murray is not a scorer. Let's make Jamal Murray a playmaker. And they've stuck with that blitzing scheme really for the last 5 quarters. It's rare that you see a team will abandon a strategy. I don't think Spoelstra is going to come out of this and be like, no, like we got to just abandon that. On some level, you have to just kind of accept, like, all right, look, if Aaron Gordon's going to score 27, we're going to lose, and that's just how it is. We're outgunned here. But we cannot let Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic both cook. So I think they're going to keep sending those doubles, and Murray will make those reads. He's done a really good job of being patient, of stringing the defense, which allows time for those cutters underneath. So I think you're dead on here. 8.5 assists. I think this is a great play. Plus 114. Love this play.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Gordon scored so many points last game. Miami wasn't the only one to lose. I had an Aaron Gordon under last game, so I took an L on that one as well. I've also taken an L on an MPJ over, thinking he was going to bounce back earlier in this series. But I know you like an MPJ over prop for tonight. So tell us what you got and why you like it.
Yeah, not threes, not points. It's entirely possible that he finally gets a bucket to go. Look, MPJ's not missing these shots by a mile. He's not just like front rimming them because he's tired or, shooting air balls because he's too tight. These are halfway down and out, right? And it's been frustrating for him, but there was a kind of a noticeable change. He didn't close that game because of how well Bruce Brown was playing in that late fourth quarter. Like, Brown helped to seal that game. However, that doesn't mean that Malone will just go back to that again. Brown's been good in this series, but MPJ made a real effort to switch transition and start really attacking in terms of making those other plays. He was making cuts. He was crashing the glass especially. So let's do MPJ over 6.5 rebounds. He's going to get minutes. He can grab 3 or 4 rebounds in a small stint in one of these stretches in the first half. Either the first 6 minutes of the first half or the back 6 minutes of the second quarter. Like, he can definitely get there in short order, and we could be sitting pretty on this. This could hit by early fourth quarter, honestly. MPJ has a huge size advantage in this series. If Max Strus plays less and Tyler Hero plays more, guess what? Tyler Hero's still 6'5". They don't have anybody to get a body on him. So if MPJ is making an effort, and he tried to really do that to not just get frustrated and focus on the threes, but to stay locked in and do the other things, that means rebounding. That's what Malone is always on him about. So I think this is MPJ's chance to make an impact like he did in game 1 without shooting the ball well. Let's take the over 6.5 rebounds plus 100.
Yeah, and I like this because I think you made a great point. Tyler Hero coming in, there's no way he makes the Heat bigger. If anything, he's going to make the Heat smaller if he happens to get a couple extra minutes, that maybe like a Caleb Martin or somebody doesn't get. So, I think that makes a lot of sense. And I am expecting an MPJ big game at some point, and we might only have 1 game left. So I don't hate it at all. Just to recap, Matt liked the Nuggets minus 8.5 for the game. I like the first quarter under. And then for props, I like Jamal Murray over 8.5 assists. And Matt liked MPJ over 6.5 rebounds. And if the Heat are going to extend the series, they're going to have to hit some threes. So here is a look at the 3-point props for game 5. All right, so it's 3 p.m. somewhere. So check out these props for 3-pointers made available at BetMGM. You can get Gabe Vincent, KCP, Jimmy Butler, Jokic, or Max Strus to hit over 1.5 threes. The number up to 2.5 for Jamal Murray. And earlier today, Maria spoke with Gilles Gallant on his picks for 3-point player props.
Thanks, Maria. Here are my two favorite picks for Game 5 of the NBA Finals between the Denver Nuggets and Miami Heat. And we're going to be looking at the Heat side and taking Max Strus to have at least 2 3-pointers tonight in Game 5. I love to target bounce-back players, especially because Strus, he got in a little bit of foul trouble in Game 4, only played 17 minutes. That's the lowest since Game 4 of the first round. And the Heat desperately need him to hit some shots. And what's encouraging is last game in Denver, he came out firing. He hit 3 3-pointers in just the first quarter, finished 4 for 10 from 3-point range. What's also encouraging is that in the 2 games he played in Denver, he took 19 3-point shots. We love that kind of volume. It's also encouraging that 73% of all of his shots are coming from 3-point in the playoffs. And Coach Spo has made it known that, like in hockey, the Heat want shots on goal. So even as a 33% shooter, I'm projecting around 6 3-point shots from Strus, and I expect the Heat to go down swinging. On the Denver side, I'm going to take Kentavious Caldwell-Pope over 1.5 3-pointers at plus 110. He hit 2 3-pointers in Game 4, one early and one late. And this is a player on the Nuggets who's going to need to hit some big shots. The Heat will be very focused on Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray and their pick and roll. Now, the good news is KCP is averaging 2 3-pointers made per home game in the playoffs, shooting around 41%. And why we're targeting KCP instead of the likes of Aaron Gordon or Michael Porter Jr. is what we've seen from Nuggets head coach Michael Malone's rotations. Porter's playing time, it's been reduced significantly. Gordon's shot volume is so inconsistent from 3-point. And it's also encouraging that just over 60% of all of KCP's shots are coming from 3-point range. So those are my 2 picks. We like KCP for 2 3-pointers made and Max Strus for 2 3-pointers made. Back to you, Maria.
All right, that was Gilles. Thank you, Gilles. And to baseball we go, a market report for a couple of key matchups today. Rays taking on the Athletics, 81% of bets, 97% of money on the game to go over 8.5 runs. Also, we got the Phillies visiting the D-backs. 70% of the bets are on the under in that contest, but 96% of the money is on the over. Don't usually see that. But for more, here's Charlie DeSturco, Jim Turvey, and BJ Cunningham on the Payoff Pitch podcast.
All right, guys. 8-game slate, not the most pretty one. You know, the Oakland Athletics have been on a complete roll, which is, I think, why they put me in the hosting chair, not Brendan today, because we had to take our celebratory run and introduce them early on. But neither of you are targeting them for your best bets. Jim, we'll start with you. Where are you headed?
Yeah, I'm going Yandy Diaz to score a run minus 105. So he's going up against those A's you just talked about. And this is a historically bad A's team. It's a historically bad starting pitcher. And it's James Kaprielian with one of the highest walk rates in all of baseball. Yandy Diaz, an on-base machine. He's going to be getting a couple looks at Kaprielian here. He right now is tied for 6th in all of baseball in on-base percentage. The last time the Rays faced the A's was start of the season. This is when they came out to that insane start to the season. They scored 31 runs in this 3-game set against the A's. The A's bullpen also has the highest walk rate. Yandy's sitting at the top of this lineup, and he's going to get a lot of chances to get on base, a lot of chances to come around to score. Getting this at minus 105 with the implied odds just over 50%. It's a great look. He's hitting this at a higher rate than that for the regular season as a whole. And then this dream matchup, you know, it only improves those odds even better. So yeah, I'm looking at Yandy Diaz to score a run as best bet today.
Definitely a great look. BJ, let's see. Are you going Red Sox to start off the top? Or are we going elsewhere?
No, I mean I'll have the Red Sox included as one of my bets, but no, I like the Phillies at minus 105 on the road against Arizona tonight. I mean the Diamondbacks are red hot right now. I mean they're 40-25. They've won 5 straight games. Now they're sitting atop the NL West, but I think this is a good time to fade them. Matt Strom's going to be on the mound for the Phillies. He's been pretty solid since he's made the jump to the starting rotation, and his numbers between being a reliever and a starter are essentially the same. He's sitting with a 3.38 expected ERA, and his K per 9 rate is getting up there close to 12. And he actually has a higher K per 9 rate as a starter than he does as a reliever. I think this is a good opportunity here to fade Tommy Henry and the Diamondbacks. You know, if you look at the bullpen numbers, essentially the same between the Phillies and the Diamondbacks through all the metrics. So I like the Phillies at minus 105.
And remember, any picks we give out here on the show, you can easily reference. Just go to the Action Network app, follow Green Dot Daily. We keep track so you don't have to. And Green Dot Daily is presented by BetMGM. Use the bonus code ACTION when signing up to get $1,000 paid back in bonus bets if you do not win your first bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And that's going to be it. It's a wrap for us here on Green Dot Daily. I'm Chris Raybon. Thank you for watching as our last week of shows rolls on before a little summer break. I'll see you again Tuesday, 3 Eastern on the Action Network YouTube channel and the Action Network app.